1964, Ford put some money aside to come out with one of the most fun cars that they could possibly come up with, which was the Ford Mustang. A couple years later, in 1966, Chevrolet launched the Camaro to compete with the Mustang. And in 1969, Dodge was sick of the two American competitors taking on the streets, and they decided to take it into their own hands to build the most incredible, powerful burnout machine drag strip monster they could possibly come up with, the Dodge Challenger. Now later on in the 70s, the Challenger went away along with some of these other muscle cars because of the gas crisis. They were just sucking up too much gas, and obviously cars got a lot more economical. However, in the early 2000s, Dodge decided to launch the Challenger yet again. They gave it another go. And it was okay. The Camaro and the Mustang were faster, they were a little bit cheaper, and they were ultimately a lot better performance car bargain. Dodge was sick of this, and with the sight of the end of the Challenger in the very near future due to sales and overall cost, Dodge was losing money on the Challenger. They had the RT, they had the SRT, they had the SXT, and they were decent cars, but they were big, they were heavy, and they weren't all that fast. They had this crazy project under wraps. They were going to build the most powerful muscle car ever, and they were going to sell like hotcakes. It was going to be the next big thing. They were going to call it the Hellcat. It was going to be this unbelievable high-performance muscle car that the world has never seen. Dodge is preparing to launch this high horsepower, 650 horsepower muscle car, and all of a sudden, everything changed. Ford launched the GT500. In 2014, the new GT500 came out with 662 horsepower. Dodge all of a sudden came to a halt on this entire project. This is not okay. We need to absolutely knock the socks off of Ford. This needs to bring the Challenger back to life. This needs to bring the Charger back to life. This needs to bring the entire Dodge brand as a whole back to life. So they got back to work and they re-engineered the 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi V8 to put out 707 horsepower. Introducing in 2015 the Dodge Challenger and Charger Hellcat. Now, when they launched in 2015, they didn't change a whole lot from the outgoing 2014 model year. They minorly changed up the front bumper, they gave it revised lighting up front, and back they got rid of what a lot of people called the Cyclops taillight, which was really a throwback to the original Challenger, and they gave it these new LED taillights. However, they even look more like the old Challenger than the Cyclops taillights did. And they gave it a revised mean-looking hood that sucked in air right through the front and let out air right through the back. And they gave it one of the coolest, most well-known logos in the automotive industry, the Hellcat logo. The first vehicle to pretty much come from the manufacturer with such a, I don't know how you'd like to say it, edgy name, Hellcat, political, but it was amazing. The entire car community went crazy. They sold like nothing else. They started becoming the new Corvettes when it came to popularity at car shows, and now to this day you see Hellcats everywhere. And since then, Dodge has absolutely flourished, and how much popularity and sales that they have done because of this incredible motor. This motor has been put in vehicles like the Durango and the Durango Hellcat, the Ram TRX. It has been put in the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT Trackhawk, making all of these insane high-performance SUVs around this legendary 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi that they have hiding under the hood. It is currently the last year of the Hellcat. The Challenger is done. It is being replaced by an EV. What I have behind me here is a beautiful used 2017 Hellcat that we just took in on trade. It is currently available for sale. If you're interested, be sure to check out the link down in the description below. But today, I'm going to tell you why the Hellcat is going to go down as the greatest muscle car in history. When I say the greatest muscle car in history, I don't mean the greatest performance car in history. Yes, on the Hellcat line, there are the Demon 170, that is literally powered by alcohol. Those vehicles are the fastest accelerating cars in the world. They beat the electric out, which is unbelievable. Great by Dodge. I'm sure they're going to outdo it with the new Banshee EV that's going to launch here soon. But that's not what I mean when I say the greatest muscle car in history. This car means something. Every single person in the entire car community knows what the Hellcat is. It made a statement, it brought the Dodge brand back to life, and it changed the entire muscle cars since this car has come out. It has set a new bar for horsepower numbers. Not only that, but it's not just about performance. This was never the fastest car around a track. This was never the fastest car down a drag strip. This was never the fastest car in an autocross course or stopping, because it was meant to have one purpose and one purpose only. And that was to make you smile, to make you laugh, and to simply have the best time that you could possibly have behind the wheel of a muscle car. It's loud as can be. With that all being said, however, that does not mean that the Hellcat is not an amazing performance car. However, you have to have all the conditions correctly, and you have to manage to get all of that power down to those 275s in a hurry. 0 to 60, if that can be done at about 3.2 seconds. A quarter mile in 11.2, 11.4, around that time. The thing's fast. There's no doubt about it. I think anything with over 700 horsepower is going to be fast, whether it's heavy or not. One of my favorite features that they did on the Hellcat is the headlight going directly into the intake. There's a hole here to suck in as much air as possible, and on the newer Challengers, the passenger side has the same thing as well. Such a cool design on just a functional way and a cool way to get more air into that 6.2. And they can stop pretty fast too, with 15.4-inch 6-piston Brembos up front and 4-piston Brembos in back. It can stop from 60 to 0 in just 103 feet, which is actually up there with some of the fastest stopping cars that there is. That's really good. What's cool about the Hellcat is it truly is a do-it-all vehicle. It's got a crap load of power. It's fast in a straight line. It's amazing at doing burnouts. It's a heck of a lot of fun around a track. I've had the opportunity to drive a Hellcat Red Eye wide body around Bondurant Racing School. An amazing vehicle. They truly are quite impressive around the track when you have the right tire brake setup or brake pads set up. They're an incredible vehicle. They are not the best at anything that they do, but they are good at everything that they do. And they're just so much fun in every one of those settings. No matter what, they just make you smile. They are so unbelievably fun, and that's all a muscle car is supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's not supposed to be a dedicated track car like the GT500 or ZL1 1LE. They are made to go in a straight line, stupid fast, and do everything else somewhat decent. It's exactly what the Hellcat is. It is going to go down as the greatest muscle car in history, and there's no questions about it. It just does everything a muscle car is supposed to do the way a muscle car is supposed to do it. Now, you could get the Hellcat with a 6-speed Tremec manual transmission, or like this one is optioned and the majority of them come with a ZF 8-speed. And the ZF 8-speed is a fantastic transmission. You can see it used across a variety of different vehicles. Personally, in this setting, I think the 6-speed manual is a better fit. However, that is not dismissing the ZF 8-speed at all. It pairs very well with the Hellcat, and it makes it a very enjoyable driving experience, no matter what transmission you get, to be honest with you. Overall, the build quality on the Hellcat is pretty good. As you hop onto the inside, one of my favorite parts about Dodge products is the quality of leather that they use. Feels so high quality. It still smells new to this day, and that's in their Ram vehicles and Durangos, whatever, all of them. They just use the highest quality, most premium leather. It lasts forever. It looks amazing. They have the best leather out of any automotive manufacturer that's American, and you can't prove me otherwise. They're so nice. They're so high quality. I really do like the way that they feel on the inside. Everything else on the inside is decently high quality. There's some low-end stuff in here. One of my favorite parts about the Hellcat has always been its steering wheel. The flat bottom, super bulky, aggressive steering wheel looks absolutely fantastic and feels amazing in the hand. Very, very happy with the way that the steering wheel on the Hellcat feels and looks. And then this one with the ZF 8-speed, of course, the paddle shifters are quite good as well. I believe that pretty much sums up the video in justice of what the Hellcat truly is. It is the ultimate muscle car. It was the only muscle car in the entire muscle car segment that had one goal and one goal only. That was to shred as many tires as possible, to go down the drag strip as fast as possible, and to put the biggest smile on the driver's face the entire time. Out of all of them, the Mustang, the Camaro, the Challenger, was the only one that came back in the late 2000s and just had nothing but a singular goal of just being a good muscle car. For that reason, it's going to go down as the greatest muscle car ever built. There will be Challengers in 20, 30 years, Hellcats that are worth who knows how much money. Everybody is gonna desire one. Gas might not even exist, who knows? But as of right now in 2024, all I can do is say thank you to Dodge. Thank you, Dodge, for allowing us to get to experience cars like these before they're done. And thank you for doing everything that you guys can to try to fight the emissions and have fun with these EVs that you guys are coming out with. The new Ram RHO looks like it's going to be a pretty good time. I'm excited for some of these upcoming vehicles that you guys have to offer. But I think there's no doubt about it. Every single car enthusiast out there has something somewhere in their soul of some memory with some Hellcat.